What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Alright, so yeah, this is going to be the last game that I do for today. We have the Blue Buckets taking on the Red Buckets, and I'm showing off the team, the Red Buckets, for the first time. I've done games with the Blue Buckets in the past. Pretty good fucking football team, too. It's going to be a tough match for the Red Buckets. The Blue Buckets are favored to win, obviously. They have a better offense and a better defense. But that being said, both these teams are still very good. So, could go either way. But, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how this goes. But, yeah, either way, this is going to be my last one for today because I'm kind of running out of time to record videos for you guys today. But that being said, I kind of knew that this recording session was going to take a while. So, kind of already had accounted for that. And I'll tell you guys the story behind these two teams as well, because it's kind of a fun story. But once the game gets going here. Alright, so it looks like the Blue Buckets are going to start off with the ball. So we'll see how it goes. So yeah, anyway, there's a story behind these two teams. So, way back in the day, back when I was a kid, there were these other kids who lived in my on my particular cul-de-sac, because I lived on what they call a court or a cul-de-sac. If you guys are familiar with like how a cul-de-sac works, basically with like houses in that particular formation. So I was close friends with the kid who lived like literally a house away from me. So me and him were like, best friends back in the day and whatnot. Wow, deep pass. So yeah, me and him were very good friends back in the day. And so we were hanging out, me and him, we were hanging out at his house. We were doing something in his driveway. I can't remember what we were doing. I don't remember if my sister was there when it was just me and him. I don't remember. But I remember me and him were in his driveway, right? And keep in mind, this is a couple houses away from my house. So, we were hanging out, and then there's these other kids that lived kind of like across the cul-de-sac from us. And, we hung out with them sometimes and whatnot. But that one particular day, one of the kids' older brothers was hanging out outside and whatnot with one of his friends, and they were much older than us at the time. So they were like riding around their bikes and shit, and me and my friend were hanging out in his driveway and whatnot, and then they come by and they started messing with us, right? And, me and my friend didn't take kindly to that. They started, like, messing with us and shit, if I'm remembering that correctly. So, they were kind of starting shit with us a little bit. And so so me and my friend, we just were not having it, right? So we got this big-ass tub, right? we filled it with water and all sorts of other nasty shit, to be honest. Filled it with like wood chips, all sorts of just nasty shit. Got this big ass tub of like water all full of nasty shit, right? And so when one of the kids, you know, that other kid's older brother, when his friend was riding by on his bike, you know, messing with us and whatnot, we took this big ass tub of like water and all kinds of nasty shit and just dumped it on him. And so naturally that led to a whole chain reaction, which basically started a war between the two of us. And so it was me and my friend originally against the other kid's older brother and his friend. And so we retreat back to my house, right? Because my house had a bit of a bigger yard. So we kind of like retreated back to my yard. And then they went to theirs. And then they got water guns and shit. And then we got water guns and we duked it out. And then eventually my sister and her best friend came out to help us out. To help out me and my friend. And then the other kid, you know, who was bugging us at first, got his younger brother, and then his younger brother got his friend, and then their two sisters. And so they had 6 people against our 4. And it was me and my best friend leading the main charge of our attack, with my sister backing us up. And then her friend was the one reloading our guns with water and shit. So we had this epic-ass water gun fight going on for a while. And then, eventually, after a while, despite the fact that we were outnumbered, me and my friend led a couple offensive attacks against them, just the two of us, going up against 6 people, right? So we were just going over there, starting all kinds of shit, you know. And it was kind of like across the street, you know. We were battling across the street, so we would hold. Sometimes they would come into my yard and attack us. And then we would go into their yard and attack them. Mostly it was me and my best friend who were the ones who were going into their yards and attacking them. My sister was more of like defensive and stuff. I think she went with us on a couple of attacks during that battle. But it was mostly me and my friend leading the charge there. You know, and we were outnumbered. These kids were bigger than us, and we were outnumbered, right? That being said, though, we persevered. Our persistence led us to victory. So, once we had claimed victory, my best friend, he was a bit of a nut, you know, still kind of is to this day. Very fun guy, very good guy, too. Truly one of the best human beings you'll ever meet. Very talented individual as well. So, we happened to have this blue bucket nearby, right? So we needed like some kind of symbol to show our victory, right? So my friend got this big ass stick and put the blue bucket on top of the stick, and we paraded it around the entire cul-de-sac, just yelling, "The blue buckets win!" You know, that's what we decided to call ourselves, was the blue buckets, because my friend put this blue bucket on a stick and we paraded it around claiming victory over our enemies. But our enemies didn't like that very much, right? So they launched one more offensive attack. They got on their bikes and they stole our blue bucket. And so they were riding around on their bikes with our blue bucket. And so we fought them one last time for the blue bucket. And we ended up claiming victory once again over them as they eventually surrendered the blue bucket back to us. And that's how we became known as the Blue Buckets, the leaders of the entire court. We were known as the kings of the court from that point on forward, as we claimed a victory over them. So we ruled the court because we were, you know, we were victorious in battle. And so that's kind of how the story of the Blue Buckets came to be. And after a while, they became known as the Red Buckets. So that's kind of the story behind the Blue Buckets and the Red Buckets, was that we had an epic-ass water gun fight. My side was known as the Blue Buckets. Their side was known as the Red Buckets. I had created the team the Blue Buckets a while ago, but I wanted to finally get around to creating the Red Buckets, so that way the Blue Buckets and Red Buckets could battle it out once again in the field of battle Plus, it's kind of a neat little callback to something that happened in my personal childhood that was fucking epic, by the way. That water gun fight that we had was epic as fuck. I cannot overstate that enough. It was epic. But yeah, I mean, at the end when they took our blue bucket, we fought for it, we prevailed, and we took our blue bucket back and continued our victory parade, chanting into the night that the blue buckets were victorious. So yeah, that's kind of the story again behind the blue buckets and the red buckets. So we'll see today if the red buckets can get their revenge or if the blue buckets will once again prove their supremacy. We will see right here, right now. So I must admit I am a little bit biased in favor of the blue buckets to win this one, but still, should be a good game either way. Alright, so 3rd and 1. We'll see if the blue buckets can get a first down here. Ah, man, not able to make it happen. He was out of bounds. Alright, so the blue buckets take a 3-0 lead. Seems like it's been a pretty close game so far. Honestly, I wasn't really paying attention that much before because I was kind of busy telling the story of the blue buckets and the red buckets. So
the defense forced the punt the last time after 3 plays. It's 1st and 10. Number 20, the deep man. Blake comes in motion. Pass play here on 1st down.
ooh, fuck, that was close. Actually, that quarterback did a good job there getting that ball out of there. It was actually well done. Wow, he got clobbered. Absolutely clobbered. Alright, so still a very close game after 1 quarter, just 3-0. So yeah, we'll see what happens in the 2nd quarter, so stay tuned, and until then,